It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. On this, the 29th day of August 2024, brought to you by MSC Cruises and Will US, the owner of Scootaround. Going to have a pretty busy show today. I've got a non-previously announced special guest this morning, which we'll get to in just a second. And then I do have some news stories today. The top story in the headlines for today, 30 years for child porn. That has nothing to do with our guest, by the way. I just wanted to point that out. Norway to enforce net zero. Carnival announces increased cruises to the new Half Moon Key. Oceania to sail from Tampa. Coast Guard warns of more hurricanes on the horizon. A Manhattan Ferry fire. The Royal Caribbean orders the 4th Icon class ship. And lots more live here at 11 o'clock this morning. Today, folks, is National Chop Suey Day. Now, that might be closer to my special guest for this morning, because I think he's a chop suey king of the area he lives. We'll have to ask him about that. So go have some chop suey, folks. A health update. And by the way, podcast guys, you know what to do. I'm not going to go through all that. Save my voice. I had a virtual meeting with my doctor yesterday. And basically, what was said was that you're sick. And I said, yeah, tell me about it. The fancy COVID test, the third COVID test, came back negative. So this is not COVID, but he says, we don't know what caused this. He said, there's a lot of viral things out there that you could have gotten one of those that we don't even test for yet. And he said, with your current condition, that's just made things a lot worse. And he says, are you any better? And yesterday I said, yes, I'm better. And today I'm a little better. My voice is better. My breathing is not better. My breathing is probably worse. My coughing is not as often, but when I cough, it's harder. I'm also coughing up some really chunky crap. And yet, before I was coughing up liquidy crap. So I'm not sure about that. But anyway, as I was telling that to the doctor yesterday, he says, okay, he says, sounds like we've turned the corner and you're starting to get better. I said, oh, does that mean getting better enough that I can go on a cruise? He said, when? And I said, next week. And he said, I know. He said, you're not going cruising for a couple of weeks. He says, we're trying everything we can do to keep you from being in the hospital intubated. And that scared the crap out of me, guys. I don't mind telling you. So I had to make the very difficult phone call to Hot Air Tom yesterday afternoon, canceling out of the cruises. Now, there were a couple options. One was to fly to Quebec and just miss the first leg of the trip. The problem with that is I'm not set up with Canada to do that with all my equipment. Flying into Canada. The second problem with that is that would be getting on another airplane, and I can't do that. I can't get on another airplane. I've got one more flight left the next spring, and that's it. I'm done with airplanes. But there is still the possibility that I may be able to exchange my train ticket that we were going to use Tuesday to Boston to when he gets back to Boston after the second leg of the cruises, and then be up there with Tom for the Boston leg and the New York City leg, and then come back home. It's not guaranteed yet. I've still got to get a whole lot better, but that's at least a possibility and gives me some hope of being able to carry off at least part of that. You can probably tell my voice is getting weaker as we go. However, I was able to do the stories today and on the news portion of the show a lot easier than yesterday. Yesterday, in taping them, I had to stitch them together, each story together, virtually a sentence at a time. Well, today I was able to tape the stories. And yeah, a couple of times I coughed and had to stop and start over, but basically taped the whole story. So that's definitely an improvement. So it'll sound a little better today, at least. All right, that said, I have a special guest this morning. The Chop Suey King of Minnesota. I have no idea if that's true or not, but it just sounds good. You guys all know him. He's been here a bazillion times. He's my friend. We were partners for years, and we still stay in touch. So let's welcome Amigo John back to the Travel and Cruise Industry News podcast. That's John Reitmeyer. He's up there in Crookston, Minnesota. Do you eat chop suey?
Not only do I eat it, I am the chop suey king because nobody else orders it in the restaurant. You know, they have a buffet now, and 99.999% of the people just get the buffet. But I like stuff just really literally fresh made and brought to my plate. So I order the chop suey, and I love it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I made an educated guess on that. All right. Now, most of my viewers, and we got a lot of new viewers, so some of them don't know. I tease John all the time about being the pot seller of the world. John is actually a farmer. By the way, have we harvested the sugar beets yet?
Oh, no. Well, yes and no. The sugar beet harvest starts.
Yes and no questions.
Sugar beet harvest starts the first Tuesday of October. The actual campaign, because the beets have to go into a pile at 40 degrees. If they're in warmer, they'll generate their own heat and they'll rot and turn to slimy goo. So the official campaign starts, but because, of course, we are way better farmers than we were 30 and 50 and 70 years ago, we have way more tons per acre coming in. So they actually started this year, Ronnie, 15th of August? The 15th of August in what's called pre-pile, where they're just bringing in enough beets to go into the input chute of the factory. They have about a 3-day supply in case it rains or other things happen where the supply gets shut off, because it costs a fortune to shut the factory down, officially shut it down, and then bring it back up. But so pre-pile started, and they are slowly doing the headlands, the ends of the field, and opening up, so when the campaign comes, they can just go in there with 100%. They don't need to be loading from the lifter to a cart, and then from the cart to the truck, because the truck can't go on other beats. The tractors are made to go down the roads, but the trucks don't. So when you ask, have we started? It's yes and no, in the fact that they're diddling in a little bit, just to keep the factory going, and it goes by. You get assigned, you have these 2 days, and then you have these 2 days. And I think there's 6 groupings of people. And so every time it's your turn, then for 2 days, you shut down everything else you're doing and you deliver sugar beets.
So since we've started harvesting, that means you can now start going back to McDonald's again. Absolutely.
And of course, the exciting thing is now, with sugar actually in the factory where I live, the Crookston factory, American Crystal Sugar number 4, that's where all the Reitmeyer beets go to be processed. And we are buying sugar from Crystal Sugar to make into our drinks and soon to be our chocolates and gummies also. So when you purchase our products in our stores up here, you're actually buying beets that could have come from the family sugar beet fields. And it's a big thing because, you know, where you are too, I'm sure you hear about cane sugar, you know, Hawaii, CNH, pure cane sugar from Hawaii, made with love. But you know, we're actually using our own sugar right now, and that's what's so exciting. And I just want to show you, Ronnie brought his dog with him again today, Roofer. And every day I go and get a McGriddle sandwich at McDonald's, but I don't like the egg that's on it. Come on, puppy. So come on, hey boy. So, yep, come on. Are we seeing it? We're not seeing him here. Where is he? There he is. All right, look at that. So every day he gets his egg to make his fur a little shinier and wonderful and everything. So, but the reason I'm on with you today, and I just got a couple more minutes, is as you call me a drug dealer, you know, we are the cannabis legal license dealer in 3 cities that we're in. And where we are in East Grand Forks, which is our big town, only because Grand Forks is 80,000 people, where the other towns are smaller, we have purchased the business right next door to our little slot of a business because we tripled our square footage. And as part of that, this business was called Garage Sale Treasures. And some of the business we're going to keep running in a corner because it's a good little business to be in, and it's baseball cards, sports figure cards, everything like that. But the rest of the store we're just dispensing of. And as part of that, I've got I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it on there? But I've got Hot Wheels. I've got Pez dispensers, hundreds of Pez dispensers, and I've got 3,000 albums. Record albums, vinyl record albums, pop, rock and roll, a little bit of country. You know that song, I'm a little bit country, I'm a little bit rock and roll. But anyway, you know, we don't want this to go to the junkyard. So if there's an actual collector, are you a collector of Pez? I've got over 200 new in bag Pez's that we will move to you for pennies. Are you into Hot Wheels? I've got hundreds of Hot Wheels new in box. And I've got 1,000 Hot Wheels, you know, just the car itself. I mean, we've got them, you know, in boxes to ship. You know, make us an offer, like I said, pennies on the dollar. I just don't want them to go to somebody who won't pay us a fair price for them. They want to steal them from us so they can turn around and sell them and make money on them. But if we have collectors out there that collect this stuff, I'd rather our stuff ends up in your collection. You know, you're going to have to pay the shipping to get it to you, but you know, let's just figure out if you collect albums, if you collect stereo. Look at the stereo equipment behind me there. It's all like 80s and 90s, big amplifiers with, you know, big speakers, the old kind of stereos, not the new little miniature stuff. But if you like that, you know, we've got tons of that stuff. And that stuff's probably going to go to the junkyard. I mean, it's so sad because they are, you know, $1,000 pair of speakers. And kind of like, only a little tiny fraction of America wants them anymore. And so that's why I came on your show. I know you have lots of really neat people and not everybody collects, you know, cruise key room tickets. I know a guy that's got 900 cruise room keys.
Yeah.
You've met him. He's been on the show with us, Dan from down in Florida. He's got over 900 of them. But how many do you have now, maybe? 50? 60?
I got 90, I think it is.
90. I've got maybe 20. So anyway, just wanted to take a minute. I'm so sad you can't go on this trip, Chillie. Hopefully you can do pieces of it. Happy to come on the show again or let me know how I can help you because I know, although you look real good today, you're kind of like the wounded elephant that's pretending to be okay because he wants the herd to still like him and not, you know, send him away. But I know that you're not feeling good. So that's my minute. Thanks so much, everybody. Let's get Chillie back and doing what he does best. And we'll see you all real soon.
And guys, if any of you out there are collectors of anything, or if you know anybody that's your friends that are collectors, have them contact me or Amigo John, and we'll get something worked out for you.
Like I said, I just don't want it to go to the garbage, and I don't want it to, to somebody to come in and then turn around and, make money on it. I just rather somebody that loves, if you're a collector of things, you love it, it's part of you. We want to encourage that.
All right, one quick more farming question before we go. Were you able to save all the wheat from that storm that knocked it all down?
Yes, yeah. Ours came back really well. The wheat, it's either done or mostly done. I hope it's done because, in the last 5 hours, we've had over 2 inches of just torrential rain and hail and the big winds. I don't drive by any of our farms to get here where I am today, so I don't know what it's looking like out there. But I think that we're done or very close to done with the 2,300 acres of wheat.
You gotta get all that stuff done before there's any frost on the pumpkin, don't you?
Oh, well, no. See, grain, if grain is dry, it can take frost. It goes into steel bins all winter. No problem there. Matter of fact, as long as it's dry, it can go through a lot. The sugar beets can take a little bit of frost because they have that big canopy of leaves, and the ground is warm yet. So they can take, soybeans, on the other hand, if they are not hard and set, they can't take there can't even be frost across the street, and you're screwed. So it's a balancing act. Everything's a balancing act.
All right, John. Sell lots of pot today.
Get well, my friend.
Thanks, John. All right. That's John Reitmeyer up there in Cookston, Minnesota. Guys, and if you can help John out, that's great. That's why we had him on. Didn't know that we were going to do that until last night when we were talking, when I could actually talk a little bit. And you might have noticed I cut myself off a couple times there to cough while he was talking. So, all right, let's take a quick break from one of our fine network sponsors, and then we'll get on with the show today. And to start the news off today is an absolutely disgusting story. A Royal Caribbean stateroom attendant on Symphony of the Seas was sentenced by a federal court to 30 years in prison for producing child pornography. Arvin Joseph Mirasol, age 34, citizen of the Philippines, was sentenced in Miami federal court yesterday. During a cruise from Fort Lauderdale in late February, an adult guest who was traveling with her mother and sister discovered a small spy camera less than the size of a quarter hidden in their bathroom. The tiny camera was positioned immediately below the sink and was positioned to record people using the toilet. The guest immediately reported the spy camera to guest services, and security officers eventually responded. While security was present in the guest's cabin, Mirasol appeared in the cabin and admitted that he owned the camera. The guests were savvy enough to record the location of the camera, as well as Mirasol's comments when he returned to the cabin. Upon the Royal Caribbean ship's return to Port Everglades on March the 3rd, Homeland Security investigations and Customs Border Protection agents searched Mirasol's electronics, uncovering numerous videos of children in various stages of undress. Federal agents discovered numerous videos of naked females, as well as images of child sexual abuse while looking at his phone, an SD card, and a USB stick. One video showed Mirasol installing a camera in a cruise guest's bathroom. Norway is taking bold steps to protect its breathtaking World Heritage fjords, introducing zero-emission rules for maritime activity starting January 1st, 2026. The new regulations will initially target vessels under 10,000 gross tons, including tourist ships and ferries. However, larger ships, including cruise vessels, are expected to comply by 2032. Compliance will involve using alternate fuels such as biogas and connecting to shore power when available. Carnival Cruise Line has announced new itineraries for 7 ships departing from Miami, Port Canaveral, Galveston, and Baltimore for 2026 and 2027. Featured destinations include the expanded Half Moon Cay with a new pier accommodating Carnival's XL class ships. Additionally, many itineraries will include Celebration Cay, Carnival's new exclusive destination. The new Carnival Celebration will offer 7-day cruises from Miami to the Eastern and Western Caribbean with stops at both Half Moon Cay and Celebration Cay. Carnival's Mardi Gras will offer 7-day Eastern and Western Caribbean cruises from Port Canaveral, featuring new itineraries that include both Celebration Cay and Half Moon Cay. Carnival Venezia, sailing seasonally from Port Canaveral, will also feature new itineraries to the Western and Eastern Caribbean with options for 7 and 14-day cruises. The ship will visit Celebration Cay. Carnival is introducing new itineraries for the Jubilee from Galveston starting in September of 2026. The ship will offer 6 and 8-day cruises to the Western Caribbean and the Bahamas with stops at both Half Moon Cay and Celebration Cay. Additionally, the Carnival Dream and Carnival Breeze will sail from Galveston, with the Carnival Dream offering 6, 7, and 8-day cruises, including 14-day Carnival journeys, and the Carnival Breeze operating Western Caribbean itineraries with options ranging from 4 to 8 days. The Carnival Pride will offer week-long voyages from Baltimore, including Bahamas cruises with stops at Half Moon Cay, Princess Cay, or Celebration Cay. A lot to do with.
Wow, if any of you guys are available on September 15th, here's one that's going to be hard to pass up. And there are some other dates for this cruise, but the best one is the 15th. 9-day, 8-night Bahamas cruise starting at $370. That's right, folks. $370 for a 9-day, 8-night cruise on the MSC Meraviglia out of Brooklyn. She stops in Miami, Ocean Cay, and Nassau, several days at sea. Sail on MSC or Meraviglia from New York, departing September 15th. Rates are as follows. Interior, Bella Bella, $741 per cabin. That's $370 per person. Ocean View, Bella Bella, $941 per cabin. That's $420 per person. And Balcony Bella Bella is $1361 per cabin. That's $815.51 per person. Awesome deal on the Meraviglia, my favorite MSC ship. Sailing September 15th. Just call me, Chillie's Cruises, 434-258-9264. Hopefully you'll get to go on the Meraviglia.
Oceania Cruises, the world's leading culinary and destination-focused cruise line, is adding a range of new Caribbean and Panama Canal winter sailings in early 26, departing from Tampa on Florida's west coast. The line's 670 guest insignia will make history in March of 2026 as it becomes the first ultra-premium cruise line to sail from Port Tampa Bay. Oceania Cruises will offer 7 to 20-night itineraries, exploring Caribbean islands, including St. Thomas, St. Kitts, and Tortola, calls in Cozumel, Costa Maya, and Belize City, plus a daylight transit of the iconic Panama Canal with an overnight stay in Panama City. These voyages can easily be accessed by the 41 nonstop flights offered from Tampa International Airport. The eastern reaches of the Atlantic Ocean are quiet lately. devoid of atmospheric disturbances that frequently turn into tropical storms and hurricanes as they barrel westward, gaining steam from the Caribbean's warm waters and often impacting cruise ship itineraries. But that is no reason to become complacent. The U.S. Coast Guard warned in a preparedness notice on Monday the hurricane season continues until November the 30th, and the peak season has just begun. It starts in mid-August and runs through most of October. In the weather today in the Atlantic, there's one disorganized system with only a 20% chance of further development. In the Pacific, Hector dissipates. Gilma, barely a tropical storm, expected to dissipate near Kauai over the weekend, and Hone weakened slightly, heading toward the dateline. During the busy rush hour commute, a fire in the engine room of New York Waterway Ferry, Father Michael Judge, necessitated the evacuation of dozens of passengers. When the fire erupted, the 65-foot ferry was going along the Hudson River from Manhattan to New Jersey. Witnesses reported flames aboard the vessel, and images circulated on social media showing thick gray smoke rising from the ferry. The crew quickly responded by sealing the engine room and activating the vessel's fire suppression systems, effectively containing the blaze. The 37 onboard passengers were safely transferred to the nearby New York Waterway ferry Frank Sinatra, which brought them ashore without incident. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. Royal Caribbean Group has signed a deal with Finnish shipbuilder Meyer Turku for a fourth Icon-class ship, which will be delivered in 2027. The agreement also includes options for 2 more ships in this class. With its unique blend of history and modern charm, Boston is one of America's most iconic and visited destinations. Explore this extraordinary city in comfort with a scooter or wheelchair rental from Scootaround. All Boston mobility rentals are 10% off until September 30th. Call Scootaround toll-free at 1-888-441-7575 or reserve online. Use code BOSTON10 or SRN 11137 for the best rates. A scooter or wheelchair in Boston. Call now.
And that's going to wrap the news portion of today's show. Let's go see who's in the chat room and if my voice will last. No guarantees. Sadiqa says hi. Hello. This says hi, everybody. Hi there, Tom's here. Says hi, Don. Tom's here. Gretchen out in Ohio. PK Adventure Travels is back. How you doing? Glad to have you back. Kenneth's with us up in Pennsylvania. Gretchen says your voice sounds good, Chillie. Well, it sounds better, but it's still weak. I tell you. And the cough, because now it hurts down to my toes. It really does. Joe, I'm feeling better. Roger's down and Joe getting ready to go on a river cruise. Bob's with us. Good morning, Bob. Chillie, it sucks, but you don't want to be out of the country if things go south. Yeah, well, that's clearly part of it. One of the things, because of the double condition, double pneumonia on top of advanced COPD, is there's a chance for setbacks. And so they make sure got this
crap, I put myself in that kind of harm's way again. So I understand what he's saying, and I can't really say that I disagreed with it as much as I like it. Chili is much better than my coffee from my last cruise. It took me many weeks to stop coughing nonstop. I've been able to hide it well for you guys so far, Tom. John knows, because John's heard it when I was talking to him on the phone last night and once before the show. Katie's with us. Good morning. Kenny Kenneth says, Tom, you going to be around this afternoon? I'll try to give you a call to go over a couple things. All right, that sounds good. Gretchen, we didn't get sick at all this last cruise. Very good. I'm not sure that this was from the cruise. If it's from any from the damn airplane. I not feel uncomfortable on the cruise, being around people coughing and hacking and stuff at all on our cruise. And I wasn't in any really nasty weather. You guys did some nastier weather than I did. Yeah, I had my jacket on a couple times. But then we had days that it was like summer, for goodness sakes. So, yeah, I don't know. This might have been something that I picked up there, something that I picked up on the travel back. You know, who knows? I don't know. At least it's not COVID. I don't know what it is, but it's not COVID. Oh, can we turn down John's volume a little? Sorry about that. No, I did not realize that. And yeah, we could have gotten him to turn it down. I didn't see that, Hot Air Tom. Sorry. Mike says, John, you look much better when I last saw you. Stay well. Yes. He's had some health issues too. So, he had to cancel out on a cruise with me last summer. We're going to get on one though. He's going to do one of the transatlantics in the spring. Hot Air says, yes, Kenneth, that would be fine. I'll message Robin with my cell number. Emily says, hello, Chillie and John. Hello, Emily. There's Cindy. Good morning, gang. Cindy's going to have a expensive ship down there in Tampa. Expensive. Oceania coming to Tampa. Hello, everyone, Em says. That reminds me, my medallion's still in my purse. It's a magnet, but I think we just threw them out. Oh, I am. What's everybody going to do for Labor Day? I tell you what I'm going to do. Nothing. It would be nice if I could even go outside. A very quiet weekend, Emily says. At some point, she'll see her niece. Fred's going to a golf outing tomorrow with her sons. I think he's going to be about 90 degrees out. Yeah. PK saying hello to everybody. That's nice on PK Adventure Travels. That's pretty cool. Tomorrow I'm going up to Ridge Hill with a couple friends to ride. To ride what? Oh. Gretchen says the same thing. Horses, an ATV. Yeah, we got to know what you're riding there, Em. Chillie says, sorry, you can't travel. Positive thoughts for a speedy recovery. Thanks, Katie. You're looking and sounding better. Yes, I realize that. Unfortunately, it doesn't carry to how I feel. And while my oxygen hasn't dropped, and now it's, before I could sit still and never have to use the oxygen. While I was playing the stories today, I had the oxygen back on. I've got it right here. Now it'll just, all of a sudden, it'll just drop into the 70s without me doing anything. Gretchen says it was probably the darn airports and planes. Well, the thing is that I was just so totally uncomfortable. And, I've gotten where, and I used to love to fly. I've gotten where I detest flying. I would suspect the plane in airports more than the cruise. Yeah, I think so too. I know mine came from a lady coughing nonstop on the tour bus the day before we departed. Yeah, I'm not aware of being around any of that the entire time. But then you never know on a plane. What is John's website? Oh, what is that thing called? Can of Corners. Can of Corners, I think. I'll have to, Joanne, I'll look that up and get that to you. Can of Corners. CANNA Corners, I believe it is. .com, .net. I don't know. It's in Minnesota. If you pull it up, they got 4 stores now. Chillie, I have some bad news for you. You have 2 flights in the future. Oh yeah, that's right. I have the one from Rome to Barcelona. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a short flight. Yes, I was forgetting that one. I was. So I have 2 more flights to take, that and then 1 flight home. So, although we are booked for business class seats. Okay, that's good. Cindy says, I don't think I can afford Oceania, but glad for more ships in Tampa. Just about 1 month until I'll leave for Rome. So excited. Yes, that sounds good. I upgraded my flights to the bulkhead seats with more leg room going to Italy. That's a good move. All right, guys. My voice is about gone. So that's it for me for today. I'll see everybody back here same time tomorrow. Please smash that thumbs up button. And subscribe if you have not already done so. It doesn't cost anything. It will help the channel out a lot. You guys have a great day. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.